So joining us is Ariel Vargas from Florida. We have Dave Cadoon from Alberta, Erica Yoon from Hawaii, and Scott Ziegler from Saskatoon. And Scott, I know I had sent you a quick message with Lane not showing up. Scott's going to step in as our moderator today. So let's give everyone a round of applause and let's enjoy this conversation. I'm here to help in any way that I can for the next hour.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Can you hear me okay, Meg?
Yeah, you sound great, Scott.
Good. Well, I have, as Meg introduced the panel on my sheet, we have Ariel, Dave, and Erica, and myself. Maybe what we'll quickly start is a quick introduction with each agent. I guess let me know how long you've been with EXP, what sort of what your production looks like, and yeah, we'll just introduce ourselves from there. So, if Ariel, if you want to pop open your mic and introduce yourself.
How are you, everyone? My name is Ariel Vargas. I've been in real estate for a little bit over a decade, and with EXP for about 2 years. I am a mega icon team leader here in Orlando, Florida. About 130 agents in my team, and that's who I am.
Awesome, Dave.
My name is Dave Cadoon, located in Lloydminster, Alberta / Saskatchewan, so just down the road from you there, Scott. I've been an agent for 8 years, a little over 16 months now with EXP. Domestic team, myself and my wife. She does most of the back end stuff. I'm out on the go, always selling. And so far this year's been good for me and my market. I'm at 23 closings so far since February 1, so things are going good.
Awesome. And Erica, in fabulous Hawaii.
Hi, my name is Erica. I started real estate in August 2020, so it's been a little bit over 2 years, and I started my team. It's Ace Team Hawaii. I'm a team leader of 11 agents on my team, and my production is about last year I did about 43 million.
Just 43, eh? Couldn't crack the 50. Just kidding, just kidding. Well, I appreciate everybody being on the panel. My name is Scott Ziegler. I am a agent out of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. As Dave mentioned, we're proximity-wise, we're very close in Canada, and we're right for you geography buffs. I guess we're right above Iowa or North Dakota, I guess, in that area. I've been in real estate for 17 years. I had hair when I started, and I was with Remax for 15 of those years, and I just started my third year here with EXP. And yeah, so what I think that I wanted to have a conversation with the icons today is I don't know for sure who's all in the crowd, and maybe this is something you guys could drop in the chat. How long has the audience been in real estate? Like, do we got a mix of everybody? Do we have a mix of everybody in the crowd, or 18 years, 1 month, 1 week, 12 years, 6 months? Nice. So one of the things that I wanted to chat about today with the icons is what can we do or share with you that's going to get some of these new agents business today or this week or this month. And so I actually want to throw
Sorry, interrupting for a sec. Agent Danielle Kramer, can you close your mic, please? Sorry, I'm just gonna the audience here. Then you won't get that echo. There you go, Scott. You should be good now, I hope.
Good. It was driving me nuts. I thought I would
There you
just
go.
push through it. I was gonna push through it. So, anyways, I wanna talk to the icons today about tangible ways that we can help each other get business immediately. It's the spring market, and this is the time for us to get that business. And I kind of want to start with Erica. you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but you said you're only in the business for 3 months. Sorry, three years. So, you know, relatively newer agent. You're sitting up here on the Icon panel. You're leading a team, and I'm wondering, Erica, if you could tell us what would be maybe the main source or one of the main sources of business for you. How are you coming up with this production?
So I would consider myself a social person, and when I started my business, I started uh, I started adding friends, like a lot of Facebook friends, people that I didn't know, and of course a lot of agents that are in my area, and I just created some Facebook groups, and I think I created four, and I was like an admin. I became an admin of this neighborhood group, you know, and also I joined a big Facebook group that's already, existing, and I just, participated and made myself like, as a contributor to certain pages. And I met a lot of people through that. And that kind of gave me organic leads. People knew that I was an agent because I post all the time. So social media is a huge source of lead generation for me.
Okay, and walk us a little deeper through, you know, we hear about social media all the time, but I don't hear a lot of agents talk about groups. And I've heard it in a general sense, but I've never really had somebody dive deep into what that looks like. So can you tell us, like, because we're all part of different groups, we all follow different pages, but tell us what these groups sort of specifically are. And then when it comes to, you say you post all the time, like, are you adding value with your posts, like market stats, and this is what's happening in the community, the neighborhood? Are you posting your listings? Like, what type of posts are you putting into these groups that is generating these conversations?
Um, I don't necessarily post on those groups that much, but I add comments. Sometimes I do post, but it should be relevant to the group. Like for example, if I if I join the group that talks about a military move, then I would hop in and contribute something about that. But I become friends with some people, and then now I became friends with so many people in the group. Now they are friends, and they are able to look at my post, what I post on my page. So I post a lot about my real estate activity, also just day-to-day life. So I try to post every day something on my page, and also um, many posts on the stories, right? And everybody that are friends with me, they should know that I'm a realtor, producing realtor, because I post something like new escrow showings, closing video. I post something like that every day. And it's just that I build relationship with people that are around my area through those Facebook groups that have something in common, like maybe like a hiking group, maybe moms with kids that like art. So I made like a art Facebook kids uh, art page. so so the moms would join, and then they would post their post their kids art. So I started something like that. Within 1 week I gained like 100 moms joining the group. So yeah, that's what I like to do.
So Erica, if you could give, you know, in that same vein of, you know, Facebook groups or social media, if you could give the members of the audience maybe one piece of advice, you know, to get started doing that type of activity, what would it be? Like, what would you say is the first step, or even maybe the first few steps to start to break into that sort of prospecting avenue, if you will?
If you know what you like, for example, if you like to, go hiking, or if you like to go bowling, find what you like, because I really like, I'm a believer of having fun in things, because when I focus on something, when I like something, I naturally spend a lot of time, doing that activity. So to me, business is also about, having fun, and right. So try to find something that you really enjoy doing, and then you can either join a big local group that are already there. That would be easy way to, hop into the group. Or another way is for you to create a group and become the admin. So that's actually good if you're able to manage that group. That's good because you stand out. And like, for example, when I made a group for my neighborhood, I sent postcards to all the neighbors to let them know that I made a group. So at first, not many people joined, but there are now so many people joined the group, and they're posting some things about neighborhood every day. And I also sometimes post some tips about, for example, like, spring cleaning and something like that. And that's free advertising. Now I don't have to send postcards to my neighborhoods. They will just, come look at it, and they know who I am. So I think that's a great way to, advertise our business. And if you join another group that's already existing, then I would suggest that you, continue to contribute and comment, and, make genuine friendships through that. And, you sometimes you can, meet in person. They have like gathering, it's all about relationship.
Great. I love that. I think it's fantastic advice. And Taj asked the question, how do you navigate group rules? Most don't want you to solicit. And I think she answered that question right at the very end with your main goal of the group is not to come in there and start spamming with just listed and just solds, or, that kind of stuff. But depending on what the group is, Taj, there's lots of ways to navigate that. You could, again, we're just coming up with examples here, but if you're in a specific group and you can somehow write a blog post that pertains to that type of thing, then you could post that blog post on the group, and then they're going to naturally gravitate to your website, to read that post and see that you're an agent. And, I think with social media too, one thing that is often overlooked is the direct message function. So if you're in a group and you see somebody that had made a post, just take that post offline and message them and be like, hey, I saw your post. That's awesome. Can you tell me more about that trail? Or can you tell me more about that store, or more about this community? And you start to, build those relationships and build those friendships. So what Erica is talking about is not necessarily, it can be business today, but that is building a really solid foundation for, business and referrals for a lifetime. So I love that strategy. Dave, I'm going to ask you sort of the same question. I mean, 20 plus closings this year. You're on the icon from last year. What would you say is one of the main sources of business, that you're getting right now that we can relate to the 80 users in the audience?
Yeah, thanks. The people just need to see you as a person, not as a salesman. Going back to, throughout my life, I always hated being sold. Looking at, buying a car, salesman was pushy. I had no interest. I'd move on to find somebody else. And that's how I've run my business entirely. I get to know the people. One thing I was taught a couple of years ago in real estate was people hate being sold, but they love shopping with their friends. So if they understand who you are as a person, they're more likely to work with you and get to know you. And that's how I've ran my business over the last couple of years. I do post on social media. I do post, my listings and my solds, but I also post about my life. I go on holidays, I post. You see me doing stuff with the kids and the family, I'm posting. There's more personal posts out there for me on my business page than there is actual business, because people know I'm a realtor. They know that I sell, and that's what they understand. But my daughter, she plays hockey. She's a hockey referee. I'm a hockey referee. you know, Scott can attest to this. We're in Canada. Hockey is like 10 months of the year, sometimes even longer. I live at the rink. So basically, from September through April, I am at the rink. I have ads in the rink, in the different rinks. I sponsored local hockey clubs. So again, that costs some money. But I tell the public that I'm at the rink, I'm refereeing a hockey game, and they see that, and I get business from that. So that's a main attribute. So people see me as a hockey dad. Uh, and again, they see me as a personal. I've told all the agents that I've mentored in the years to just show yourself. Let people will shop with you if they like you, not because they see a sales sign.
Yeah, that's a great point. I just had a conversation with an agent yesterday, in fact, and he's new to the business and he's setting up his social media stuff right now. And the question that he has is, should I have a business Instagram page and a personal Instagram page? And 5 or 10 years ago, you might have separated it, but now the rule of thumb is you should not have separate pages. Um, and the reason is exactly what you just said. People want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And so for some of the newer agents in the audience, you know, the fact that you're new is actually something that you can lean into on social media. Let people see your progress. When you're at a home inspection, say hey, I'm at a home inspection and I've never seen this before. I didn't know this about a particular home, and the home inspector walked me through this, and show them your experience. And the question is, did you say not to have a personal and business page? And the conventional wisdom right now is that you should only have one page, because people do not want to follow a real estate page. They want to follow you, Taj. They want to know what you're up to. They want to see your life. They don't want to see your listings and your sales. And so for those of you in the room that are on social media and stuff like that, it's very much about being personal, getting people to know, like, and trust you. And Dave is 100% right. That's who people do business with. Um, and I think that's a great strategy. And so, Ariel, 130 agent team. Tell us, same question to you. What's working right now? I'd like you, if you could keep in mind that there's newer agents in the office, or sorry, in the auditorium. What's something that's working for you and some of your agents that some of these newer agents could get off this call today and start implementing in their business?
Thank you. Yeah, in terms of what Eric mentioned, I couldn't agree with them more. People want to do business with people. They don't want to do business. They don't want to close transactions with companies. They want to do transactions with actual agents, and they have to get to know them before they even take that step. As far as what's working, I'm actually a practitioner as well. I'm still selling myself. So I have gone back to basics. There's 4 things that I'm doing right now. Number one, obviously, as Erica mentioned, social media plays a huge factor in our real estate career. Even though most of us don't like it, the reality is going to give us business, and staying top of mind is very important. So social is incredibly important, and it's not just about posting, doing sponsor ads, paying Instagram and Facebook to come up on people's news feed and walls and whatnot. People that you don't know, friends of your friends, family of your family members, or friends of your family members, and even a lot more than that. And for that, yes, post, but also money into advertising. Everyone here should have a marketing budget that they put in place every month. So you most definitely should have a marketing budget. So social media, in terms of posting, but go a little deeper than that and actually put some marketing budget on it. I am buying also online leads, not only for myself, but for my team. One that is working for me very well is roomview.com, ROOMV as in victory, U as in united.com. That's working very well for me. I get tons of leads through there. I'm buying again. CeeLo is back. They stopped buying real estate. Now they're catering to the agent a little bit more. So uh, buying CeeLo leads, but just really any online leads, you should definitely be doing that. I'm doing open houses, not only for myself, but I have been pushing a lot of my fellow business partners uh, open houses as well. And last but not least, you got to be calling, and calling again. So, calling past clients, calling current clients, calling leads that are coming in or people you met at the open house, calling friends, calling families, just really allocating time to really build that relationship. That's what's going to get you more sales, especially in a market in terms of the real estate market share. So that's it's just really going back to basics. Four things: social media, online purchases of leads, open houses, call.
Ariel, when it comes to the open houses, what are you doing personally? What are you teaching your agents to do at these open houses to make sure they're fruitful versus just, obviously sitting on the couch and letting people come in? Give us some of your open house secrets and tips.
So number one, the house must be listed less than 14 days on the market. So you want to get the first weekend or the second, probably the first weekend. They should be door knocking the day before to invite people in the neighborhood. We used a software called Remine, Remine, Remine.com, that actually allows us to do a filter to know exactly which door should be knocking, meaning who has equity in the home, who hasn't refinanced in the last 3 years, who hasn't purchased in the last 3 years, so that when we go door knocking with a purpose, and that is to knock on doors that could possibly be other listings in the neighborhood. So definitely door knocking the day before. You should be advertising at least a week and a half. 10 months ago we wouldn't be able to do that. The home was gone in hours, but now we're back to normality where people does or listing agents and even agents that are looking to get buyers time to really advertise that open house. So on that same tool that I mentioned, Remine, REMINE.com, you could do mailers. So I would do the mailers to the same people that I'm going to door knock. So they see me twice, they get the mailer, then literally a week later, a day before the open house, I'm knocking on their door and I'm inviting them. And I become little by little the expert in that neighborhood. And then clearly, prepare for the open house. I mean, there should be not 5 open house signs. There should be 25, 30, 40 open house signs all over. And in addition to that, there should be enough documentation for you to hand out. It shouldn't just be an MLS sheet, right? It could be something a lot nicer. Listreports.com is a great tool. The EXP Marketing Center has amazing flyers that they should be using. So it has to be memorable for the comes in. So I definitely do a lot of preparation is involved. We use the Core Open House app, which is also provided by EXP, that allows us to capture the leads into our CRM, and then it kicks in an actual campaign. So the follow up is there. Now you can get a bunch of leads on an open house, but if you're not calling, it means nothing. You have to call, follow up. Even if it's not that house, I'd love to get you into another home, and just continue to build that relationship, and you sell if you really commit to it. I tell my fellow partners, you got to do at least
Awesome. I appreciate that. One of the things that I find successful at open houses too is every agent should have a link tree or some sort of link tree product that all of their social sites are linked to, their website and that kind of stuff. And oftentimes at an open house, instead of handing out a business card, I'll say, what's your phone number? I'll text you over my link tree. And that way then they can get onto your social media, see your videos and all that kind of stuff. And so the same question for myself, I think that something that, and each market is different, of course, but I think that something that, a newer agent that, maybe doesn't have, the social presence or the sphere of influence or the past clients that can really do today is door knocking expired listings or going after for sale by owners. Now in my market, and I guess in Canada in general, it's almost impossible to find a phone number. I mean, if you can call expired, it's great, but I can't. So I have to create a flyer and I go door knocking expireds. And I think that is an opportunity, and you can go back. I mean, most MLSs you can go back as far as you want, and then just cross-reference that address, make sure that it hasn't sold, in the last 6, 12, whatever time frame, and just go back and see if anything has changed. And I think that, an expired listing is somebody that at one point really wanted to sell. They don't put their house on the market for nothing. They don't go through all that trouble for nothing. And so that to me is something that a newer agent can do today. They can just make up a flyer, even if you don't have a flyer, just, and my kind of laid back script is, I mean, I'll knock on somebody's door and say, hey, my name's Scott. I'm a local realtor in the area. I seen that your house was on the market last year, 3 years ago, last month, and it didn't sell. If you were to get an offer that made sense to you, like today, would you consider selling your home? And just see what their answer is. Sometimes it's no. I'm thinking, we're good, or maybe, or the price is right. And from there, you just have to have that conversation with them as to whatever their answer is. And if there's no immediate business there, one thing that I always like to do, and of course this is something that you have to do, but I send out an email to my database once a month. It should be once a week. I'm trying to get there, but and I just ask if I can send them the market update. I say, well, hey, Mr. Seller at the door, I send out a once a month market update, keep people abreast of what's going on in the market. It's not spam. I don't send you anything else. I'd love to keep you posted. What's the best email for me to send that to? And the goal at the door is, if you can't get immediate business, is to try and capture some sort of information. And it's just as simple as asking if you can send them a market update. And I'll give you all a testimonial on that. I have a house listed right now that, so let me back up. I sold the house in a neighborhood. The neighbor from 2 doors down called me after it sold, wanted to know what her home was worth, and she wasn't ready to sell. But at that time I said, let me put you on my market update. And so for 2 years, she's been getting my email. And when I went to list a revenue property of hers, I met her at her house, and I kind of said to her, oh, well, that's the house right there that you originally contacted me on. And you know what she said to me? She said, my brother asked me how I knew you. And she said, I don't know how I know this guy. I just get an email from him every month. So 2 years ago, I happened to put her in my database, and now I have a listing out of it because I kept emailing her over and over. She needed an agent. She didn't have one, and my email was the one that came up. So that's great. A great thing that a new agent can do. I want to swing it back to Ariel, and in the meantime, I don't know if the audience, if if you guys have any specific questions. I mean, you have icons on the stage. We're just trying to spitball ideas that are working for us. But if you have specific questions, certainly type them out, or if you want to open up your mic and ask the question, I mean, somebody on the stage can answer it for you. But in the meantime, I want to swing it back to.
Hey, Ariel, this is Deborah, and I'm asking again, what are those 3 filters you use? You named homes with equity, no purchase in the last 3 years, and
Yeah, so on Remind, you're able to do multiple filters. The 3 that I concentrate on the most is They need to have more than $70,000 on equity, so you could filter that minimum of $70,000 in equity. Mortgage age, I do 3 years plus, meaning they have refinance in the last. And I do
Wait a minute, what was that, Ariel, the last one about the mortgage, please?
3 years or more. 3 years or more.
It's
And
been
then,
in place for 3 years.
right, basically, you don't want to, I don't door knock or send mailers someone that just refinanced. So my filter is a minimum of 3 years on the mortgage.
Got it.
And then the same thing, yeah, and then the same thing on the purchase. A minimum of 3 years, because I don't want to end up door knocking or sending a mailer and spending time and money on a door that just closed, a year ago. So that's essentially, those are the three that I concentrate on. There's all kinds of filters there, guys. There's distressed properties, cash buyers. There's all kinds of filters. It's pretty incredible. Um, I'm sorry, Scott. Did you ask me a question?
No, I didn't. And there was a question from the audience in the chat about rule of thumb with drip campaigns, and Dave made the point that 16 to 30 touches, to get them to be top of mind with you over several weeks and several months. One thing, and again, everybody's going to have a different opinion, but one thing that we have to be careful of as agents is we want to add value. Drip campaigns typically are just filled with fluff. In my opinion, no disrespect, filled with a lot of garbage. Nobody cares about your pumpkin pie recipe and all that kind of stuff. You have to be adding value to these people when you're sending them stuff. So just keep that in mind. If you're, even with your social media, the same thing goes with social media. If you're making a post, it has to be a value-based post. If it's just look at me, I just sold another home, nobody cares about that. Just listed, just sold. You have to add some sort of value to your messaging. And so when you're doing these drip campaigns, just make sure that you don't just set it and forget it. You have to have some sort of value in there. And I that leads me to, I want to swing it back to Erica. I just want to touch a little bit deeper on social media. How are you building, like, social media is very much a relationship thing, and how are you cultivating those relationships on social media, Erica? Like, are you in the DMs? Are you in the direct messages? Like, how do you sort of keep up with your relationships online?
Yeah, I utilize Facebook Messenger a lot. I do DMs. So especially when I see somebody that is, that posts something about their new job, their move, or something like that, I can DM and say like, hey, congratulations, and like, oh, where are you moving to, stuff like that. And then when they move to Florida, I would say, hey, actually, I know a great agent there. He's an Icon agent, and I'm sure that he can help you find an amazing house there. And there you go. There's a referral there. And now because you know that person, and now you DM them, you become friends, and they get to know you. And then when they know somebody, they're gonna refer you to their friends. So yeah, I think having those kind of one-on-one conversation is definitely important.
Dave, let me ask you the same question. I mean, obviously, you said a lot of your business is coming from, um, basically, your sphere of influence from the rink and stuff like that. And then you did mention that your social posts, are heavy on the personal side versus just straight real estate side. How are you utilizing social media as far as, getting in the DMs and different things like that to sort of build and maintain those relationships?
Yeah, absolutely. So I used to handle all my social media all on my own. And then I started to realize that takes a lot of time. And when you're out there selling, it can get busy. Like, I have 52 listings right now. That takes up a lot of my time during the week to keep on top of those, plus dealing with buyers. So I have a virtual assistant that monitors my social media, engages with accounts to help increase more engagement with me. So people send me DMs. Now they don't respond to DMs. That's still all me. I still want to have that personal touch. But that's where it goes to me being personal with them. You know, the initial reach out from the VA is very generic, but it sounds like it's coming from me, almost like an AI program would be, like what KV Core has with Core Concierge. But then I take over, and then now I put the spin on things. But frankly, a lot of the messages that I receive, and you know, flashing back to the rink, it's people, they already know me, they've seen me, they understand what I'm doing. You know, the friendship is there. So when they reach out, the message comes to me like, hey, can you come over and help me list my house? It's not, hey, can you come over and, you know, tell me what my house is worth? It's like right away, they want me to do the work for them. And it's because they've got the relationship that they already know me. So it makes my job a lot easier when I'm going in for presentations. And like, frankly, in the last year, I've only been in competition for listing appointments twice. And I got one of them and the other one I didn't. And then totally fine. That's what kind of happens with the business. But as long as you're engaging and keeping engaged, you know, we always talk amongst, you know, us icons and the ones who do a lot of production, to let the newer agents follow up. Do, like, if you don't hear someone the first time, get back to them. You know, just don't forget about them, because then they will forget about you, and that comes into where those touches are. They have to remember who you are. I've got colleagues in my city here that are very, like, my city is very small, 35,000. They just expect stuff to fall in their laps, but they don't do the follow-up. And I've gained a lot of business from them because they don't follow up with the clients. As long as the clients know who you are, know that they can reach you either by phone, by DMs, or even by email, they're going to stick with you and they will refer you.
Dave, let me cut you off there for a sec. Tell us about your follow-up sequence, like how because you're spot on. I mean, 100% the follow. I mean, all the businesses in the follow-up. How do you keep track of that, and you know, sort of keep that all straight and make sure that you're doing it?
Again, using kind of the team aspect, I used to do everything on my own. My wife became a realtor last year. She handles a lot of the back end stuff. She keeps me on my toes if I need to get back to someone. She will do some initial contacts with them so that they know that they can speak with her, or ultimately they do want to speak with me. I will get in touch with them after. The clients know that I'm busy, and they respect that. Frankly, in the middle of this meeting, did some follow up with the seller, just had a showing request, and we're good. You know, they just know that they can rely on me. Text messaging is big. I tell people right off the bat, you know, are you okay with text messaging? Because, like, frankly, I don't want to be on the phone all the time, but I can fire a text message really quickly in the middle of a showing if I have to step aside into another room. And as long as your clients know that they can reach you almost at any time, you know, outside from your personal hours for yourself, they're going to be there for you. Now, using the virtual assistant as well, I'm using them to monitor my my CRM through my KV Core to follow up with any leads there. They go through and tell me what leads are looking like they're actual people looking to buy or sell, and the ones that are just kicking tires. So I know what's happening there. They're putting things into a spreadsheet for me that I can quickly glance at the start of the day and realize who I can go to or who I need to reach out to in order to gain more business. It's always looking at 3 months ahead, right? Things are busy now, but what are things going to be like in July? How am I going to generate business in July? And that's where my follow-up mentality comes from.
Okay, cool. I like the follow-up strategy, and something that I used, and I mean, maybe for some of the agents that aren't quite as busy. I mean, I'm on an iPhone. I'm sure Android has the same feature, but we have the reminders app. And one thing with follow-up, now I do a lot of like for sale by owners and expires and stuff like that, and a lot of those cases are 5, 6, 7 touches before you actually get the business. And so what I do, if I tell somebody like, "Hey, Dave, what I'll do is I'll call you Monday after you do your open house, or I'll call you whenever." The very next thing I do is I go into my reminders app. I type in there, "Call Dave." I always make sure I put the address and the phone number, and I set my reminders app. Hey, call Dave at 9 a.m. Monday morning. That's when I said I was going to call him. And that's all great, but then all of a sudden Monday morning comes and my phone beeps that says call Dave. You absolutely have to make that call at that time, because what I find is that sometimes I play games with myself and second guess myself and think, it's Monday, it's 9 a.m. Dave doesn't want to hear from me. Dave's probably busy right now. But I told Dave that I was going to call him Monday morning. I put it on my phone for that day and time for a reason. So for the newer agents in the crowd, utilize a reminders app. And whenever your phone beeps that you're supposed to call somebody, just don't second guess it. You put it in there at that time for that reason, and make that call. And speaking of calling, I want to throw it back to Ariel. You had your 4 basic things, and then obviously calling was a big one. Who are you calling, and what are you saying to them?
So obviously, if you're a new agent, you want to be calling friends, calling to, hey, listen, I'm a real estate agent. Let me know if you have any business for me. But really building a relationship again. And I know we're all, but calling just, how is everything going? With by last ICONversation that I did, there was the best script I have is by the way. Remember, I'm an agent, but honestly, the call would be to build a relationship, not necessarily to get the sale. So for newer agents, friends, family, and then start doing open houses, start sharing Facebook groups, create your own group like Erica did. Obviously, has worked tremendously for her. Do videos. Videos are, and then that's going to bring you in leads. For those new agents, it will be brand new clients, friends, and family. For seasoned agents, I tend to tell seasoned agents, start with the people you already served. That's who you should be calling. People you already sold house. Most people sell after 3 years, maybe 5 years. They're selling again and they're buying another home, or they're buying a second home, or an investment home. So you should be touching base with them again. And it is the same script. I mean, it is just a year script, and you're just basically catching up with them. How's everything? You got to build relationships. You cannot think of this as another commission sitting there, but more like, I need to build relationships with my clients so that I could be a realtor for life. Just like they have a lawyer for life, a doctor for life, a dentist for life. How do you get in a position where you are their realtor for life? So for new agents, friends, family is the first go-to. Agents, past clients is the first go-to. But the approach should be exactly the same. I do want to kind of give some nuggets, since these are all EXP agents here. I don't know if you guys know, and I don't know if it's the same for Canada, but EXP has a relationship with Prime, Prime Street, where you can get referral leads all the time. You guys should look it up. Prime Street, just Google it. And the other one is UpCity, which is basically realtor.com. And essentially, you don't pay for these leads until closing. At closing, they get a referral fee. For newer agents, even for seasoned agents, this is a great resource to get you busy right away. UpCity leads and Prime Street leads at no cost to you, and then the day of closing, you pay a referral fee out. It's usually 30 or 35% of the commission, but you got to build a pipeline. So start helping clients, no matter where they're coming from, whether you have to pay a referral fee out or not. You that relationships, and in the future, your marketing can just be a lot different than it is now. So that's what I would be doing.
Cool. There was a question in the chat there, Ariel. If you want to type in a couple of those websites that you just mentioned, so the audience can see those. And I just want to piggyback on what Ariel was saying, and this is maybe a bit of a newer approach, or a new school way of, the call is DM. And now I'm a big Instagram user, and I send lots of direct messages. It's very similar to what Erica was saying. I don't DM people and say, hey, I'm a real estate agent, will you do business with me? But I post a lot on social media. So anytime you have a direct message with somebody, Instagram and then Facebook, I'm sure is the same, says, hey, these people know each other. These people have a relationship. Next time I post, they're going to see my content. And one thing, especially with Instagram, is I send a lot of video and voice, especially when I see it's people's birthdays. I send them a quick voice note. Like I sent one yesterday. Hey Erica, just saw it was your birthday. Just wanted to wish you happy birthday. I would sing to you, but you would probably unfriend me after that. Anyways, just thinking of you today. Happy birthday. Took me like 12 seconds to send that off. And you know that when that person gets that message, is like, man, I can't believe that Scott didn't just type HBD on my timeline. He actually took the time to say my name, give me a personal message. And I did, and I like to use this example. Last Christmas, I sat down, and it took me like 6 hours. But I mean, it's Christmas, right? I mean, we got time. I sat in front of my Christmas tree. I went to Instagram. I went to the tab of people that were following me, and I sent them all a personal message. It would have went something like this, like, hey Ariel, I just wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas. I hope that you have a lot of a good time with your family. Hey, I appreciate all the posting you did this year. Really meant a lot that you were giving us value. I hope that 2023 is your best year yet. I look forward to seeing you crush it. Anyways, from my family to yours, Merry Christmas. Like, just personal, little personal touch. And I'm gonna read you. I have it up in front of me. I did that last year. And here is the reply that I got from this person. She said, all I can say is, wow, that might be the most heartfelt message I've ever received. Thanks so much, Scott. Merry Christmas to you and your family as well. So don't tell me that that message did not have an impact on our relationship and potential, future business. And those are, I get that calling is scary. I hate calling. I have a business coach, and he's like, when are you going to call your past clients? And about 2 years ago, I finally told him never. So quit asking me. I'm not going to call them. I mean, I do sometimes, but I have no problem sending them a direct message on Instagram or Facebook. Just like Erica said, when something happens in their life, I shoot them a quick message. Especially with Instagram stories, if they post a story, you can reply to usually the story right then and there. And those are just great ways to generate conversations. I never talk about real estate unless they bring it up. And so that's a great way to, to have the quote unquote conversations and call inside of social media, where maybe it's not quite as scary as picking up that phone. So as we get to the end of this session, Meg, do you have any questions for, I mean, you've been through this a million times. Do you have any questions for anyone on the panel, or if the audience has any more questions? I think we've covered it all today, but let me know your thoughts, Meg.
Deborah seems to have a question here. Do you have a particular script you prefer, please? For me, this is Ariel. Zero, amazing. If you guys in the audience have not signed up for his, it's absolutely free. The 60 steps
Hey, Ariel,
challenge.
Ariel, you just patched out as soon as you said the name, whatever you said.
Oh, okay. So 60 steps challenge on Zero to Diamond. If you go,
You're cutting out a bit, Ariel.
which is also an XP agent.
So Zero to Diamond.
Yeah, you're cutting out a little bit, Ariel.
Yeah, you said 60 steps, Zero to Diamond, and who is responsible for that?
Ricky Caruth is actually an EXP agent, and he provides all this coaching for us for free. In fact, he's speaking at the Shareholder Summit this year.
That is terrific. Thank you.
I just wanted to piggyback on
It's
what
like my voice keeps coming in and out. My apologies, guys.
That's okay. Go ahead, Erica.
Yeah, so Scott was saying about, like sending a voice message to clients, but I think when you are around, if it's the people that are local and around you, I always try to like go, bring a gift in person, especially holiday season. So I just drive around. It is really time consuming for me, and it's kind of hard to, coordinate the time, but I really try to be face to face at least once a year. They're not going to list with somebody else.
As we get to the end here, I do have one more question. Is there, and maybe we'll kind of keep going down the order, Ariel, Dave, and then, or sorry, Erica, Dave, and then Ariel. Give us a book recommendation or a podcast recommendation that you're listening to that is having a positive effect on your business. Erica, we'll start with you.
Okay, so for new agents and seasoned agents, I recommend Miracle Morning for real estate agents. I gave this book to all of my agents last year, and a lot of them have been seeing positive changes to their morning routines and just the overall production level and energy level. So I highly, highly recommend you.
What about podcasts? Are you listening to podcasts at all?
Yeah, I listen to I go to various different YouTube channels, and these days I just follow a lot of top producers and leaders on Instagram, and I just listen to their shorts.
Okay. Dave, what about you? Any recommendations, any podcast recommendations for the audience?
For business wise, what really changed my business around a couple of years ago was I read Sell It Like Sirhan by Ryan Sirhan. I did follow him. I definitely like what he did. Learned how he started his business from the ground up. That ended up going into his second book of Big Money Energy, which just gave me a huge push when I read it early last year. Showed me what the value was in regards to my business, and I've read Big Money Energy 3 times. It's probably due that I read it again. I haven't read it since November, but it's a good way to give yourself the push to realize what you're worth, and honestly how easy it is to give that little extra percentage of business for your set, like to put in, investment into yourself to create more business. And then as for podcasts, when I'm driving, when I'm on the road, one thing I've listened to is Building an Empire by Brian Carruthers. It's a long one, but I've been following that, and that's more or less for the agent attraction portion of my business. But again, it's taught me how to speak with people, how to deal with people, and I guess face challenges.
Cool. And what about you, Ariel? Books or podcasts?
Books. So Profit Real Estate Agents. That's the latest one that I'm reading from Damon Stack. The name Profit First for Real Estate. It basically concentrates profit first for real. Someone was asking profit first. Estate agent really concentrates on how to real estate business like an actual business. At the end of it, you don't back down. Really, whether you're a new agent, it's pretty amazing.
Cool. And for myself, on the podcast side of things, I don't have any real great book recommendations, but the Tom Ferry podcast to me is one that I think that everybody should listen to. He talks to lots of top producers, lots of top producer teams. And then within the Tom Ferry ecosystem, there's a fellow by the name of Jason Pantana, who's his marketing director, and he's looped in on about every second or third episode. So I would search for the Tom Ferry podcast. That's one that I would definitely recommend. That's more tactical. Yeah, Jason Pantana, great guy. Those are tactical episodes where you can listen to it and say, okay, I can implement that into my business. So, well, guys, as we wrap this up, I'm sure there's some announcements and the lights are coming back on. I want to thank our icons for being here today. I want to thank the 52 of you that stuck around and actually want to do something and improve your business. And we're all available in workplace and work chat. So if you ever need to reach out, I'm sure any of us would be happy to. Thanks, Meg.
Thank you so much, Scott. Thank you so much, Ariel, Dave, and Erica. A really wonderful conversation as always today. I'm going to drop the link for the YouTube. This is live streamed. If you ever can't make these, EXP does stream these directly onto the EXP Realty YouTube page. You can share this, look up past ICONversations. So thank you so much for everyone for being here, and I look forward to seeing you all in the future. And yeah, reach out to these amazing agents if